Pretoria, a Sunday morning in 1972. A young mother stands at the window of a modest house, a baby not yet a year old asleep on her shoulder. The light is coming up gold over the rooftops. The street is quiet in the way that only Sunday streets are quiet. And in that hush, she does something she has told almost no one about, before or since. She prays. Not a long prayer, not a grand one. Just a few words whispered over the soft head of a sleeping child. The kind a mother makes when she has more love than certainty and does not know what else to do with it. That mother was Maye Musk. That baby was Elon. The prayer she said that morning, quiet, private, unremarkable, whispered over a sleeping infant. She has gone on saying in some form every Sunday for more than 50 years.
Through the hard years and the good ones, through continents and decades, through the seasons when the world called her son a genius and the seasons it called him a fool. Every Sunday, the same prayer for the same child. He did not know. For most of his life, he had no idea. This is the story of that prayer and of who it was always for. She was young when she began it, and she was already carrying more than most. The marriage that had brought her to that house was turning into something difficult, something she would eventually have to find the courage to leave. Money was not as steady as the comfortable street outside suggested, and she had children, small ones, close together, each one needing more than a young woman that age has any right to be expected to give. Maye Musk was not a woman who fell apart. That much the world now knows. She had a spine of remarkable strength, inherited from a line of bold women before her. But strength is not the same as ease. A strong woman still lies awake at night. A strong woman still stands at a window on a Sunday morning, holding a sleeping baby, frightened of all the things she cannot control. And there were so many things she could not control. The temper in the house, whether there would be enough at the end of the month, the future bearing down on her 3 small children in a country and a century that promised them nothing. So she did the one thing that was entirely hers to do. She prayed. She had been raised with faith, less a matter of doctrine than of daily survival, the simple practice of handing the unbearable parts of life over to something larger, so she could get up the next morning and carry the bearable parts herself. It was not loud. It was a private tool for staying upright. And on that Sunday in 1972, she turned it for the first time toward the sleeping boy on her shoulder. The words she chose were simple. She did not ask in that prayer for her son to be great. She did not ask for him to be famous or rich or powerful. A young mother in 1972 in a modest Pretoria house does not stand at a window dreaming that the baby on her shoulder will one day build rockets and reshape the world. That is not what mothers pray for. What she asked for was smaller and far harder. She asked that he be protected. She asked that whatever pain was coming, and some pain is always coming, he be given the strength to carry it. She asked that he never feel entirely alone. And she asked, the way mothers have asked since the beginning of mothers, that if any suffering had to fall on her family, it might fall on her instead. That was the prayer: protection, strength, the hope that he would not be alone. She would refine the words over the years. They would bend with the seasons of his life. but the heart of it never changed. From that first Sunday, the prayer was always, underneath everything, the same three things. Keep him safe, make him strong enough, do not let him be alone. She could not have known how badly each of those three would one day be needed. She could not have known about the schoolyard or the staircase or the hospital or the marriages or the losses or the long, sleepless nights of the man the boy would become. She only knew she loved him past the edge of her own understanding, and that every Sunday she would say so in the only language she trusted to carry that much weight. The hard years came, the way she had quietly feared they would. She watched her sensitive, dreaming son struggle in a world that had no patience for sensitive, dreaming boys. She saw him come home from school folded into himself. There were the bruises she had spoken about, the beating so severe he was hospitalized, his face swollen past recognizing. There was the long campaign of cruelty that a certain kind of childhood becomes. A mother watching that has very few weapons. She cannot fight the schoolyard for him. She cannot follow him through the corridors. She cannot reach inside him and undo the slow damage that the world is doing to his sense of himself. What she could do, she did. She believed in him out loud, at home, where the believing might do some good. She told him, in 100 small ways, that the things which made him strange were the very things that would one day make him remarkable. And on Sundays, she kept the prayer going, the same three things, said sometimes with tears on her face, having seen what the week had done to him. Sometimes angry, furious at a world that would treat a child that way. Sometimes barely able to find the words at all, simply standing at the window holding the feeling, trusting that the feeling was prayer enough. The boy never knew. He went on through his hard childhood believing, as wounded children do, that he was carrying it all completely alone. He was not. Every Sunday, somewhere in the same house, his mother was carrying part of it with him, in the only way the world had left her to do it. Then, at 17, he was gone. He crossed an ocean to chase a life she could not yet picture for him. And a strange new chapter of the prayer began, the chapter where she said it for a son she could no longer see. This is a particular grief that mothers of grown children know. The child leaves, as he must, as you raised him to be able to do, and you are left with a love that has nowhere to land. You cannot make his meals or check that his door is locked. You cannot see his face across the table and read in one glance whether the day has been kind to him. He is simply out there now, across the curve of the earth, living a life that no longer passes through your hands. For a mother like May, the prayer became the bridge. Every Sunday, wherever she was, and her own life was far from still in those years, she would find a quiet moment and send the same three things across the ocean to wherever her son had landed. Keep him safe. Make him strong enough. Do not let him be alone. She did not know, most weeks, exactly where he was. A small apartment in Canada, a colder one in Palo Alto, an office with no furniture in it. She only knew the direction of him, and that on Sundays she could still reach him in the one way that did not require knowing his address. He still did not know she was doing it. He was a young man now, consumed by the enormous machine of his own ambition. The last thing on his mind most Sundays was that somewhere behind him, across an ocean, his mother was standing at a window, saying his name to God. There were Sundays of doubt. There must have been. There always are.
A faith that has never wavered is not a faith that has been tested, and Maye's was tested for decades. There were surely Sundays when she wondered whether anyone was listening, when the prayer felt like words thrown into an empty sky, when her son seemed so far away that the whole ritual must have felt almost foolish. A woman whispering to the air about a grown man who barely had time to call. This is the part of faith no one photographs, the keeping on when it feels pointless, the showing up Sunday after Sunday with no evidence that any of it is reaching anyone at all. But she showed up. Maybe because the prayer was never really a transaction, not coins paid into a machine while she waited for an outcome to drop out. It was something else, a way of staying connected to a son she could not reach, of continuing to mother a child now a continent and a lifetime away. It kept him present to her. It kept the thread between them from going slack. And so even on the Sundays of doubt, maybe especially on those, she said it. Keep him safe. Make him strong enough. Do not let him be alone. The words went up into the same uncertain sky they always went into, and she went on with her week, and the thread held, invisible and unbroken, across all the miles between them. And then there was the Sunday in the autumn of 2008. She knew by then that things were going badly. A mother always knows, even from a distance. She could hear it in the spaces in his voice on the rare calls, read it in the news that had begun to turn on him. 2 companies on the edge of collapse, a marriage coming apart, the world sharpening its knives for a man it had recently called a visionary. That Sunday, the prayer was not quiet. That Sunday, by the kind of account that families keep only in their own private memory, she prayed the way a mother prays when she can feel her child slipping toward the edge of something and cannot get her hands on him to pull him back. She said the 3 things, but she said them with everything she had. Keep him safe. Make him strong enough. Do not let him be alone. She did not know that around that same stretch of days, her son was sitting alone at a kitchen table in the dark, at the lowest point of his life, finding, from somewhere, the strength to keep going. She did not know whether the prayer reached him. She never had in 50 years. That was never the point. The point was that she refused to stop saying it. And in the weeks that followed that terrible autumn, the rocket finally flew, and the company found its footing, and her son walked back from the edge he had been standing on. The world called it a miracle of engineering and finance. She did not call it anything. She simply, the next Sunday, said the prayer again, the same 3 things, in the same quiet voice, with a gratitude she kept entirely to herself. The triumph years came after that, and she kept praying straight through them too. This is something people rarely understand about a mother's prayer. It does not stop when the danger passes. It does not switch off the week the company is saved, or the fortune is made, or the world finally starts to applaud. Maye did not pray for her son only when he was in trouble. She prayed for him when he was winning too, maybe even harder. Because she understood something about success that the cheering crowds did not. That a man can be celebrated by millions and still lie awake feeling that no one truly knows him. That triumph carries its own loneliness, sometimes sharper than the loneliness of failure. That the boy who had walked home from school alone in Pretoria was still in there, underneath it all,
still needing the same 3 things he had needed at 9 years old. Keep him safe. Make him strong enough. Do not let him be alone. So through the launches and the record valuations, through the controversies and the days the whole world seemed to be arguing about her son at once, she kept on. Every Sunday, the same prayer. Asking nothing for herself, taking no credit, expecting no thanks. Simply doing what she had done since 1972. Loving her son in the oldest language she knew. She is in her late 70s now, and then her 80s, and the Sundays have not stopped. Her voice is a little thinner than it was at that Pretoria window. Her hands move a little more slowly, but the ritual remains. Wherever she is in the world, and she has built a remarkable life that takes her all over it, she finds the quiet moment on a Sunday, and she says the 3 things. At some point, by some account, Elon finally learned she had been doing this, that for his entire life, without his knowing, every Sunday his mother had said the same prayer for him. One can only imagine what that does to a man, to discover that beneath all the years he believed he was carrying everything alone, an invisible thread had run back to a window in Pretoria, unbroken the whole time. To be prayed for every week for 50 years by someone who never asked you to notice, that is a kind of love most people never receive, and most who receive it never find out. He found out. And whatever he believes about prayer itself, that is between him and his own private sky. There is no way to learn a thing like that and stay entirely unchanged. To know the loneliest moments of your life were never quite as solitary as they felt. That someone was always quietly holding part of the weight. That you were, the whole time, somebody's Sunday prayer. We spend so much energy arguing about Elon Musk that we forget to ask the simplest questions about him. Like, who has loved him quietly for his entire life, asking nothing back? Like, what invisible things has he been carried by that never showed up in a single headline or a single financial report? The answer, it turns out, has been standing at a window since 1972. A mother who could not control the temper in the house, or the money at the end of the month, or the cruelty of a schoolyard, or the verdict of a watching world, but who found the one thing that was entirely hers to give, and gave it without fail every Sunday for over half a century. 3 small things: keep him safe, make him strong enough, do not let him be alone. Said into the quiet, week after week, decade after decade, across oceans and through disasters, and underneath every triumph the world handed him. We will never know whether the prayer changed the course of his life. That is not the kind of thing anyone can measure. But here is what I believe, having sat with this story for a long while. A child who is prayed for like that, whether he knows it or not, grows up standing on something. There is a floor beneath him that he did not build and cannot see. And maybe, just maybe, on the nights he came closest to falling, some part of that invisible floor was a woman at a window on a Sunday saying his name. So if someone has loved you quietly for years, asking nothing in return, someone whose devotion you have only half noticed, this might be the week to notice it fully. And if you are the one at the window praying for someone who does not yet know, keep going.
The thread is stronger than it feels. If a story like this is what you were hoping for, you have found the right place. Subscribe and stay with me. There are many more of these still to come.